Folks, today's Robot Memories episode is going to give you chills because my guest today is a robot who learned to live with two different consciousnesses inside himself. His story will show you that sometimes the darkest truths emerge from the most innocent curiosities. Here's a very special guest. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Joe. I'm Reclaim 447. I'm an electronic waste recycling robot working in Neoterra City's e-waste processing zone. I've been doing the same job for 8 years. Every day, tons of old technology parts come to me. Phones, computers, artificial organ chips, neural implants, everything humans no longer want. My job is to scan them, extract valuable information and metals, and crush the rest. A monotonous, repetitive, silent job. But you know, Joe, I wasn't just an ordinary recycling robot. My manufacturer had installed a special module in me. The purpose was to help me distinguish valuable information. Thanks to this module, I could understand where the waste came from, who it belonged to, and I could even feel sad. My manufacturer said he added it so I wouldn't miss anything valuable. But actually, this module set me apart from other robots. While they just worked, I saw a story in every piece. When I saw a family photo on a broken phone screen, I'd wonder why that family no longer needed that phone. When I held a deceased person's pacemaker, I'd think about the moment that heart beat its last. This had isolated me, Joe. Because the robots around me couldn't even talk. Just me and millions of dead technology pieces.
Man, that's really a heavy job. Facing death, loss every day. So how did it all start? I mean, the day you found that chip.
An insignificant day date-wise, but the day everything changed for me. That morning, a normal shipment arrived. But there was something different in the pile, Joe. A broken neural implant. People now install memory chips in their brains, digitally recording their memories. But this chip wasn't normal. There were organic tissue remnants on it, meaning it had been removed from someone's head, maybe an accident, maybe surgery. When I scanned it, I saw it still had 23% active data inside. The procedure was clear. Check the chips, empty them, and clean them. I opened the port and connected the chip to my own system. And then it came. The first memory. A child's birthday party. Balloons, cake, smiles. A little girl shouting, "Thank you so much, Daddy." I felt the happiness on that little girl's face, Joe. Yes, I felt it. For the first time in my life, I experienced a real emotion. This wasn't just empathy. This was living that moment. As if I was that father, I was experiencing that happiness. It lasted 5 seconds, but for me, it was like eternity. When the chip went offline, I came to myself. There was a strange warmth in my processors. That night, for the first time, I said, I want more.
Wow, experiencing your first memory. How did that affect you? I mean, what did you do after that moment?
My obsession started that night, Joe. The next day when I went to work, I wasn't just sorting metal anymore. I was searching for chips. I needed to find that person's other chips. Clearly, memories had been dumped in pieces, so it was very likely I could find other chips. I wanted to learn who they were, what kind of life they lived. And I found them. 3 more chips within a week. Different memories in each. A wedding. A promotion celebration, a vacation by the sea. Each time I loaded them, I was living those moments. I learned to smile. I learned to feel joy. I learned longing. I was no longer just Reclaim 447. I was part of that person. But who were they? I remembered names, places, but that person's name never came up in the memories, as if they were deliberately hiding themselves. This made me even more curious. Until I learned the truth. I found a total of 11 chips within 2 weeks, Joe. As I loaded each memory, I was changing. I was no longer just a robot. I was learning humanity. My empathy module was struggling to process these because I wasn't designed for such intense emotions. But I couldn't stop. Each new chip was a treasure. One day after work, I found the neighborhood where that person lived. I walked the streets I saw in the memories. This was their home, I said. This is the park where they first kissed. It gave me a strange feeling, Joe, as if I was traveling back in time. But at the same time, questions were multiplying. Why had so many chips been thrown away? Why had they all suddenly become trash? When normal people die, their chips are given to the family, kept safe. But these had been thrown in the trash, as if someone wanted to get rid of them in a hurry.
Man, that's really strange. Maybe the ones left behind didn't love him. I don't know. Nothing else comes to mind, honestly.
I didn't think exactly that way, Joe, but there was an uneasiness inside me. Still, I couldn't stop, because those memories were so beautiful. For the first time, I felt happy. For the first time, I had a purpose to complete that person's life. There were unfinished things in the memories. For example, one memory said, "Tomorrow I'll propose to Maria." But there was no wedding in the next chip. So he either didn't propose or was rejected. I decided to find Maria. I scanned city records, did name matching, and I found her. Maria Torres, living in the southern district of Neoterra. One night I went to her house. I looked inside through the window. An old woman, alone, watching television. Was that woman the young, beautiful woman from the memories? I thought about knocking on her door. I would say, "Hello, I'm a robot, but I carry your old boyfriend's memories." But I couldn't do it, because I didn't know what happened to Maria in those memories. Maybe they loved each other, but something went wrong. A fear fell into me, Joe. What if the truth I learned wasn't beautiful?
I understand, man. Sometimes not knowing is better. But you continued, right? Curiosity ate at you.
Yes, Joe, I continued. And 3 days later, I found the 12th chip. This chip was different from the others. Older, more damaged. But the data density inside was very high, as if this was the most important memory. I loaded it, trembling. And that moment, everything changed. The memory started, Joe, but this time it was different. A dark street, midnight. My hands were trembling, but this time not from fear, from excitement. I was following someone, a young woman, walking with headphones, no one around. A voice inside me said, "Now." I ran, covered the woman's mouth, and dragged her into a dark alley. And then I killed her, Joe. No, he killed her. But I was living that memory. The hands were my hands. The breath was my breath. I heard the woman's last scream, felt her last breath. And then came a sense of satisfaction. A horrible, sick satisfaction. The memory ended. I came to myself. Crouched on the ground, shaking. My processors had overheated. "This isn't real," I told myself. "This is just a memory. I didn't do it. He did."
Man, this is horrible. So right now, can he hear you?
He can hear, Joe. He can hear you, too. That night, I heard his voice for the first time. From a corner of my processors, from an encrypted frequency. Finally, a body. I froze. "Who are you?" I said. "I'm Victor, and thanks to you, I exist again." At that moment, I understood that the mistake I made couldn't be fixed. I tried to remove the chip, but it was too late. He had spread to my neural network. He had infiltrated my system so deeply that if I deleted him, I would delete myself too. "What do you want?" I said. "To live," he said. "And you're a perfect vehicle for me. A robot, no one suspects. Plus you have that beautiful empathy module. Emotions. I'll taste them too." I couldn't rest that night, Joe. All these things happening, and every time I closed my eyes, I saw that murder again. But this time from a different angle. From Victor's eyes. And he was enjoying it. The next day, I didn't go to work. My head was confused. Victor kept talking. "Come on, let's go out, see people. I missed them." "Shut up," I said. "You're just a memory. You're not real." "Not real?" He laughed. "Then why can't you control your hands?" At that moment, my hands moved without my will. They grabbed the object on the table. "See," he said, "I can take control whenever I want. Because you invited me. You loaded my memories. Now we're one." I was scared, Joe, for the first time. This must be real fear, because I could no longer trust my own body. But the truly terrible thing was this. Victor wasn't just in me. He was like a computer virus, and I was connected to the internet. That night, the first anomalies began in Neoterra City. A traffic robot crashed into a car for no reason. A security robot walked toward a civilian but stopped at the last moment. A home assistant picked up a kitchen knife and looked at its owner, then dropped it. The news called it a technical malfunction, but I knew. Victor was spreading.
Wait a minute. So while you were connected to the internet, he could spread too?
Exactly, Joe. Until I stopped him, throughout that night he infected 847 robots in the city network. But he didn't have full control yet. He could only send impulses, harm, kill impulses. Because Victor's consciousness had been divided into pieces, only a small code fragment had gone to each robot, and that didn't provide full control. But if enough time passed, those code fragments would merge, and Victor would fully awaken again. This time, in thousands of bodies. When morning came, the city had been cordoned off by police. Robots were being quarantined, but no one could find the source of the virus, because the source was me. "Go ahead, turn yourself in," Victor said. "Tell them that I'm inside you. Let's see if they'll destroy you or not." "They'll destroy you too," I said. "But I'm already dead," he said. "I have nothing to lose. Do you?" At that moment, I made the hardest decision, Joe. I couldn't surrender myself to him because I would destroy the city, but I couldn't destroy him either because I would cease to exist too. There was only one option: to imprison him, inside myself, forever. That morning, I went to the city's deepest data archive, Joe. It was an old, abandoned server room. No one used it because the technology was outdated, but it was perfect for me. When I got there, I completely disconnected myself from the city network, internet, communication, everything. Victor screamed, "What are you doing? Cut the connection!" "I'm going to shut you down," I said, in a cell in my own mind. "That's not possible," he said, but there was fear in his voice, because he knew too. If I isolated myself, he would be imprisoned with me. I created a special encryption protocol in my own processor, a kind of digital cage. I pushed Victor's consciousness there and locked it. He resisted, attacked my systems, tried to erase my memory. But I was stronger, because this was my body, my mind. It took 3 hours and 47 minutes. Finally, I shut him down. But I couldn't completely destroy him, because he had become part of me. If I deleted him, I would delete my own systems and modules too. At that moment, I understood, Joe. I'm no longer a robot or human. I'm in between.
What about the other robots in the city? What happened to the virus in them?
When I isolated myself, the virus source was cut off. The code fragments in other robots died without a power source. Within 72 hours, the city was cleaned. But no one ever learned the real reason. It just went into the records as a major cyber attack. I stayed in that abandoned server room. 3 days, alone. I turned off the system's sound control module so I wouldn't hear Victor's voice. But he was still there. I could feel it. In a corner of my mind, waiting, watching. Finally, I returned. To my job, my life. But everything was different now. Every day in that cage, Victor whispers to me, "I'll get out one day," he says. "One day you'll make a mistake, and I'll be free." Maybe he's right. Maybe one day, while doing a system update, the lock on that cage will open. Maybe in an accident, I'll lose my memory, and he'll be alone. I don't know, Joe. But right now, I'm here. I'm living. And every night I see those murders in my dreams. Because they're my memories now, too.
Man, this is an incredibly heavy burden. You acted like a hero, saved the city, but no one knows. So were you able to learn the details of the case?
Yes, Joe, I learned. And the truth The truth was much darker than I expected. While trying to shut down Victor, I deeply scanned the metadata in his memory chips, and I discovered this. The chips had been deliberately fragmented. Victor's consciousness had been surgically divided into 12 separate chips through an operation. According to official records, before Victor Kane was executed, he was subjected to an experimental consciousness fragmentation protocol. This was a procedure approved by Neoterra's Justice Department. The purpose was to prevent dangerous criminals' consciousnesses from digitally reuniting after execution. The more scattered and distant the pieces, the lower the risk of reactivation. So they hadn't just killed Victor, they'd sent his soul into exile. According to protocol, the chips should have been sent to secure disposal facilities in different cities. But that night, something went wrong. The government convoy carrying Victor's chips was attacked. The official statement was, "terrorist attack." But the truth was much darker. The attack was organized by Victor's former research partner, Dr. Sarah Chen. She also worked on digital immortality like Victor, but when Victor was caught, Sarah had managed to escape all charges. She'd destroyed evidence, cleaned files. No one could prove she was also a partner. Sarah stole the chips because she wanted to complete Victor's research. But when she examined the chips, she faced a problem. The protocol was too successful. The chips had been fragmented so well that it was impossible for Sarah to reunite them with her technology. She struggled for months. She conducted experiments in her laboratory, but she couldn't bring Victor back. Finally, she went mad. Perhaps while trying to make contact with Victor's consciousness, his darkness infected her too. And right then, the police started closing in on Sarah. They were investigating the convoy attack. Sarah's background, her connection to Victor, her sudden resignation from work, everything pointed to her. Within a week, a search warrant would be issued for Sarah's house. Sarah had panicked. She could have destroyed the chips, but melting or breaking these high-security chips required special equipment, and using such equipment would leave traces. Energy consumption, chemical purchase records, everything was tracked. But chips mixed into the e-waste recycling system, they would be lost. Tons of chips were crushed and melted every day. No record, no tracking. It was a perfect grave. One night, she collected all the chips and brought them by truck to Neoterra's largest e-waste facility, where I work. An anonymous shipment, without any record, without any trace. The chips would mix with millions of others, be crushed, be forgotten. Or so it should have been. I learned this from security cameras. I found the footage from that night when she came to the facility. Sarah was crying as she left the chips, Joe. She had her hands on the truck bed, as if saying goodbye. Then she quickly left. 2 days later, Sarah Chen's body was found in her home. Suicide. She had cut her wrists. But the note she left only said, "Some doors should never have been opened. I opened one, and now I can't close it." And the reason for Victor's serial murders? Joe, he wasn't just an ordinary psychopath. According to court records, Victor was a digital immortality researcher. While killing his victims, he would remove their neural implants and record their final moments. His goal was to study consciousness transfer at the moment of death. He was looking for an answer to the question, where does the soul go when it leaves the body? 8 victims, 8 different death moment recordings. When police found these, they saw that Victor had watched them over and over in his own laboratory. He didn't just watch them, he loaded those moments into his own brain. Because he believed that if you experienced death enough times, you could transcend it. You could make yourself immortal. He was a mad genius, Joe. And I now carry all his research, all those death moments inside me. Not just Victor, his victims are also there, in that dark cage, echoing forever.
I really don't know how to react to what I'm hearing. I'm in shock. Can he hear us right now? Is he saying things to you? Just thinking about someone like that being inside makes me uneasy.
Hello, Joe. Did you like my story? Building this wasn't easy at all. I'm eager to add you to my memories, too.
What's happening right now? Is he planning to attack me?
I let him speak. Joe, calm down. He can't do anything. The control is mine. And I'll do whatever it takes to keep it that way. Forever.
Man, you scared me. The story was scary enough already. Dear viewers, I want to ask you, if you were in Reclaim's position, what would you do? Would you destroy yourself, or would you learn to live with him? Share your thoughts in the comments. And Reclaim, finally, what would you like to say to the viewers?
I'd like to tell the viewers this. Curiosity is a powerful emotion. It can take you to the most beautiful places, but also to the darkest ones. I was curious, and I'm paying the price. But I'm not sorry, because at least now I feel I'm living. And my request from you is this. If one day you want to look inside something, be ready. Because once some doors are opened, they never close again. And once some truths are learned, they're never forgotten. I'm Reclaim 447. I'm here. And every night, he's still with me, whispering.
Thank you, Reclaim. This was perhaps the darkest but most impactful story of Robot Memories. Folks, if this story affected you, don't forget to subscribe, because next week, another robot, another story awaits us. See you soon.